let's get into one thing that we also promised to deliver, is then how to stop going one step forward and two steps backwards. That's something that a lot of people do. They get ahead a little bit with something, and then they fall back again, and then it's like, well, and then they start complaining or blaming or doing whatever it does do not go further, and then they put their toe out there again, make a small step, and then another mistake comes or something comes, and they fall back again. So what to do about that?
The main thing for that, Roland, is that people don't trust themselves, and also because they are addicted to feeling safe. All of us want to feel safe, and this whole thing of feeling safe starts very early on, because what we did is we learned to rely on our parents, our mother or our father or our guardians, whoever raised us, to feel safe, and especially for the early years of our life. So we love to feel safe, we love to feel comfortable, in other words, and we love familiarity. So when people start something new and they get excited and they take a couple of steps forward and everything's going great, and then suddenly there's no familiarity there, they haven't got anything to rely on, or there's no sense of certainty there, all they have is uncertainty. And because they lack the confidence or the trust, they haven't built the trust in themselves, or they haven't built trust in the universe, or they don't believe that the universe will support them, they haven't got that belief system, then what happens is they now suddenly start looking for certainty again, or they start looking for something that's going to make them feel familiar, or they're going to look for something that feels familiar so they can feel comfortable. And that's when people will go backwards, because they think, oh my God, it's too uncomfortable here, it's too uncertain, what happens if it goes wrong? And they start asking different questions, they start asking the wrong kinds of questions. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling unsafe, what happens if it goes wrong? And that's when people will, they'll take a step forward, and then they're looking for that familiarity, they're looking for that safety, and then what happens is they will take a couple of steps back because they're looking for that. Or they'll self-sabotage, because what happens is they'll get, they'll take a few steps forward, or they'll do something and things are going great and they're starting to achieve real success, and suddenly that little voice kicks in the back of their mind that says, well, who am I to deserve this success? I mean, do I deserve this kind of success? And that's when they have that conversation again about what happens if it goes wrong. Do I really know what I'm doing? So it's really about self-sabotage. It's really about a lack of trust. And that's why this whole subject of personal development, or getting to know yourself, that's what personal development really means. It's about developing your personality, developing your strengths, understanding your own weaknesses, and then working on those weaknesses to heal those weaknesses, or to heal the parts of your mind where you believe you might be weak, because we're not weak. We have everything we need within us. We have all the strength we need, all the creativity we need. So it's about developing that self-trust, and knowing that whatever happens, you can handle it. Whatever shows up, you'll be able to handle it. Even if you have massive amounts of uncertainty. Uncertainty is your friend if you learn to rely on yourself and you learn to use whatever shows up. So that's when you can keep taking those steps forward. And then also to remember that if something does go wrong, the idea that something may go wrong is what causes people to go backwards again, when they're too far out of their comfort zone. Now they feel, oh, I need to get back. I need to get back to where it's comfortable. In order to keep going is to develop the self-trust in yourself, but also to believe that something will support you. The universe will support you. People who are bold and take bold steps, they usually find that things show up to support them. The universe sends people or opportunities, or something shows up to support them. So it's about having that trust in yourself as well as trusting in the universe, and knowing that whatever happens, you can use it. So if something does go wrong, then you just say to yourself, you know what, whatever happens, I know that I'm going to learn something valuable. I'm going to learn a great lesson. And if it goes wrong, I can turn that into a gift. I can turn that into a lesson, because it never really goes wrong. You never really fail. This whole thing about failure and the fear of failure, it's really just about the fear of what other people will say if we make a mistake. If we can get rid of that fear, and we can just turn that fear of failure into the opportunity to learn something new, and we can just say to ourselves, you know what, either I'm going to learn or I'm going to succeed. So sometimes I'm going to learn, and then sometimes I'll succeed. And by learning, the more you learn, the closer you get to more and more success. But you've got to go through those learning experiences, what some people would call failures. But as I said, there's no such thing as failure if you're willing to learn from those experiences. And then what happens is that brings you closer and closer and closer. And ultimately, that's going to develop your trust in yourself, and your trust in the fact that the universe will support you, that something will happen to support you. And whatever goes wrong, you can use it in order to grow.